Hello and welcome to my channel. And if you look at the S&P 500 today, you are probably wondering what is going to happen to the market. Is the market going to go up? Is the market out of a recession? How is it faring? So let's look at it technically and analyze how is the market faring? What can we anticipate in the coming weeks? And what should we do? Should we buy, should we sell, or should we hold? So let's look into this further. And to take it further, let's look at the daily chart. So this is the daily chart, and as you can see, the market has broken down below the 200-day moving average. Now, whenever a market breaks down below the 200-day moving average, that is a bad sign in itself. That indicates that the market has gone below its support line, which is defined by the 200-day moving average, and is now into a more of a bear market territory. So there are different definitions of what's a bear market. How do you define it? But anything below means that the market's weak. The market has a tendency or potential to fall. So let's look at the 1 day or the daily charts and see. So the market did hold on to a good support at the 4130-ish mark, and it held that. It bounced around for a few days, and the yellow line that you see here is the 20-day moving average. Now I've just used EMAs, which is the exponential moving averages. You could use simple or the exponential, but it did hold on to the 20-day moving average, and it bounced out of it further down below. So it's gone down, it's gone down. Now, whenever the market is extended, it tends to go back to the moving average line. So that's what it did. It came closer to the 20-day moving average again, and then it again bounced lower, forming a super ultra low. We've not seen that in a few months. And this goes back, if I just go back and show you where was the last time it touched down to the 3,800 levels. And this was way back on March of 2021. So this was a long time ago. So it did go back down to such a low level and bounce back strongly. And now it did bounce back, broke over the 20-day moving average line, which is a positive sign. Because as you can see, this was kind of like a trend line that was forming. But it touched it once, touched it twice, almost touched it this time, around the 19th or 18th of May, and then it broke it. So that's a good sign for the market. Now, what has happened next is it's gone closer to the 50-day or 50 period moving average line, and now it's closer to this line. So your question now is, what is going to happen next? Is the market going to hold on this particular line, or is it going to go above? So to identify or analyze this further, we need to look at a few different time frames. So to give you a better picture, I will now browse on to the weekly time frame. So I'm just going to switch now. And as I just explained the daily time frame, how it's moved, how did the supports and resistances on the moving averages play a very important role, I'm going to look at the 50-day moving average line on the weekly time frame. And as you can see, it has broken down. If I look back in history, and history is a good indicator of how it's going to perform. 50 period moving average lines is strong. It's when it's in a bull market, then the 20 period moving average becomes a strong contender. But as you can see, closer to March of 2022, it did break. It tried breaking it once, it bounced back, it then fell closer to the second point of time. Now, based on technical analysis on the weekly time frame, the market has a tendency to move closer to either the 50 period line or the 200 period line. It cannot ever, it can never stay in no man's land for a long period of time. So it did bounce from the midway-ish mark from the 50 and the 200. So the 200 is indicated by the blue line if you did not catch that yet. And the 50 period moving average is indicated by the purple line. So the market did bounce in midway and it's trending higher now. So your question would be, is this going to head towards the 200 period moving line, or is it going to go closer to the 50 period moving line? So the weekly time frame in this scenario doesn't give us enough data to make a good informed decision, because it's kind of like midway. This candle is a bullish candle. The green one that you're seeing here, I'll just zoom in a little more. The green one that you're seeing here is a bullish engulfing candle, or that's a pattern that we would call it. But even though it's a bullish engulfing, it does not give us a complete picture if it's going to move higher here or it's going to head lower to the 200-day moving line as of now. So to look at this further and to really assess this, because like you can't just look at one time frame and then make an educated decision of where the market's going. So I want to point your attention to the monthly time frames, and this monthly time frames now. Today is the 30th of the month. So we've got just one day before the month of May is complete. And what that means for us is that this candle will now end, or would then be stamped into the monthly time frame history as, this is how it performed. So as you can see, the monthly candle has bounced all the way down to the 3800s levels that we talked about before, and has then bounced back. So that's a very positive sign. And what this indicates is that it's the 20 period moving average on the monthly time frame is holding a good support. So what this means is that the market's gone down and now it's kind of holding ground on the 30, let me tell you what that is, 4140. So the 4140 levels is what is the stronghold on the monthly time frame. So your question now to me is the market going to move down, or is the market going to move up? So my answer to that question is the market is going to hold its ground on this particular level for now. So the resistance, the support that I see is on the 4129, 4130. So anything in that ground is going to play an important role of support going forward for the next candle that's going to be formed here. Now, if the market breaks this again, the 4125, 4130, now you can never, I can't give you a finite or a definite range on this, because the market's volatile. Like you can see this huge candle goes all the way down. So it's going to hover, especially in the monthly time frame, up and down before it kind of settles at the end of June for where it's going to be at that period of time. So that's where I see it moving. I see it holding its ground on the 4130 level and then making a decision of, is it going to move higher? So if it moves higher, it's going to move higher in a lot of momentum. It's not going to move slowly as you see here. It's going to move fast. And the reason I say that is I just want to point your attention to the 2020. So you can see the 2020, it took a big nosedive. It went all the way down to 2163. That's almost like half of what we have it right now. But when it kind of revived itself from the big crash, it then moved up in good full steam. So within the first month, second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month, it made a new high. So what I do predict that it's going to happen, and that's just my educated guess. I do not consult, or I do not provide any formal guidance, but this is my educated guess on me studying the markets for so long. My educated guess is that if the market revives itself, it's going to make a new high and break this 47.98 levels for a fact. But if it doesn't hold strong on this particular line, the question is, where is it going to go? So the way I'm going to look at it is, first I'm going to predict or give you an assessment of where I see it moving this week. So for this week, where I see it going is that now, and this is the 4-hour time frame, and this is important because it helps you to predict where the market's going to head in a short period of time. So in the short period of time, the market's gonna like it's just broken over the 200 period moving average line, which is a really positive sign. Now it's just gone up, it's overshot itself, and now it's kind of trying to consolidate and kind of go back to support. So this is going to go back again and touch the 200 period moving line. That's my prediction. And once it does so it's going to go to the 41.26, 41.30 levels. And I do predict that it may kind of like end year for the month. And once it does that, then it's going to decide, is it going to bounce out of this and go and make a new high? So if you are going to decide, okay, so this is back to the question, are you going to buy or going to sell? So my prediction is that if you are going to buy, wait for it to touch those levels, because then you'll get either the S&P 500 if you're looking to buy an ETF or a future in that, or if you're looking to trade a stock, buy something around this line, the 41.27, 41.30 line. But wait for it to not just touch this line, because it may touch the line and just like crash, go below this line too. So it's going to all depend on if it can hold this line or no. So I would wait until like the candle closes close to the end of this particular line, the 200 period moving average, and see what happens next. Now, is the next candle, once it touches this line, is the next candle going to go higher? If it goes higher, that means like, okay, it's bouncing out of that line. So buy it closer to the end of the 4-hour time frame. So that's a good time frame that you could buy if it's going to go higher. If it's going to close lower and if it's going to end below the 200 period moving average line, then that could indicate that it's going to go down further. So there is still a lot of support coming its way. So it may try to bounce out of the 20 period moving line. It may try to bounce out of the 50 period moving line. But the important thing is to keep an eye on where this is at this particular line. Now, before I end this video, I just want to go back again, circle back again where we came, where we started this video on. So this 50 period moving average line is very important. This is going to define what the future holds. So as you can see, it bounced once off the 20 period, it bounced a second time off the 20 period, and then it broke it. Now, as you can tell in the past, this line has held its ground, and now this is under the 50 period moving average line. So the only way it can show that it's now in a bull market is if this candle start going over the 200 period moving average line and moves higher. So for now, this is important. So there is a chance that the market may touch which it did, and now start heading lower and touch the 220 period moving average line and then decide what it has to do. So it may just like come to this line eventually and then kind of like hover around, or it may just like the next candle may just close towards the 4190 and then ends there. So this is a very, very important milestone in terms of technical analysis, because it will define where the market's going to move higher or lower. So my advice to you is just be a little cautious, especially around these key indicators, because the market may just be a little more choppy. As you can see, like in the previous 2 days, it was very streamlined. It was just like one direction. If you bought anywhere at this time frame, you would have ended up with a profit. And the reason being, it was such strong like bull days. Now that it's closer to the line, there's a lot more people that are technically savvy and are keeping an eye out on this. So they are, if they had positions, they're either scaling out, or they are keeping a hold on buying further until they know where this direction is heading. Once they know, you will see a strong momentum either in the positive direction or in the negative direction. So keep an eye out. The next couple days will define more, and at the same time, keep an eye out on the monthly. So this is a big picture. Always pay attention to the big picture, because that's going to tell you what's going to happen in the month of June. So as long as in the month of June, if it stays around or about the 41.22 ish mark is a good sign. If it falls below, then there is potential that it may break this support and then head closer to the 35 or 35.77, which is around the 3600 mark. So that's going to be a big drop. So keep an eye out. Stay tuned to the channel as I try my best to educate you more on what's upcoming in the market, and at the same time, like, use your own discretion. Like, you decide what's the best. I'm just trying to use my technical skills to help you and educate you in every way I can to make a more informed decision. So with that, stay tuned for another video coming soon, and all the best in your trading journey.